Stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to reveal could be the difference between life-changing wealth and the biggest regret of your financial life. Francis Hunt just dropped a bombshell prediction that has the entire precious metals community in absolute shock. Silver prices aren't just going up. We're talking about a move so massive, so unprecedented, that four-digit silver prices might become reality within the next 24 months. And if you're sitting on the sidelines thinking you've missed the boat, you need to hear what comes next because the real gains haven't even started yet. I'm Robert, and here on What Happened After, we cut through the noise to bring you the cold hard truth about wealth protection and generational investing opportunities. Before we dive deeper into Francis Hunt's shocking silver forecast, I need you to do something critical right now. Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because the financial chaos heading our way won't send you a warning, and I want to make absolutely certain you're ready when it hits. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Texas, New York, maybe somewhere across the globe? I read every single comment, and I want to know you're part of this community of serious investors who refuse to be caught off guard. Now, let's talk about what Francis Hunt just uncovered that has veteran silver investors repositioning their entire portfolios overnight. Hunt pulls up his technical charts, and what he sees makes even his experienced eyes widen with concern. The gold-to-silver ratio, that critical metric showing how many ounces of silver equal 1 ounce of gold, is entering what he calls the contagion stage. And here's the terrifying part: most retail investors have absolutely no idea what that actually means or why it's about to change everything they thought they knew about precious metals investing. For decades, this ratio has been artificially manipulated, pushed higher and higher, making silver appear dramatically undervalued compared to gold. But Hunt believes that distortion is about to correct itself violently, explosively, and without mercy for those who aren't positioned correctly. His technical analysis reveals something shocking. The ratio recently touched 126, an extremely elevated level, but then something fundamental shifted. It crashed below the critical threshold of 65, and that breakdown wasn't just a minor correction. It triggered a massive macro reversal pattern, a head and shoulders formation that Hunt has been monitoring for years. Listen carefully to what he says next because this is where it gets absolutely wild. The technical structure alone suggests the ratio could collapse to 32, but Hunt projects even lower. He thinks we're heading into single-digit territory, something most mainstream analysts would dismiss as completely impossible, utterly delusional. But think about the mathematics here. If gold trades at $3,000 per ounce and the ratio drops to 9, that puts silver at over $333 per ounce. But Hunt doesn't stop there. He sees something far larger on the horizon, far more dangerous, and far more profitable for those positioned correctly. Hunt explains that markets, especially in the final stages of bull runs, don't stop at reasonable price targets. They overshoot dramatically, violently, euphoric ally. You might expect $300, he notes, but you could see $500, possibly even $2,000. His tone remains measured, but his words carry enormous weight. Markets tend to overreact in the opposite direction. Suddenly everyone believes silver is the ultimate money and massively overreacts. This isn't hype. This is pattern recognition from someone who studied previous silver bull markets extensively. He knows how they end. They don't end quietly. They end in parabolic explosions where prices blast past all rational analysis, beyond any reasonable expectations, creating once-in-a-lifetime wealth for those who hold their positions long enough. But here's exactly where most investors make their fatal mistake. They sell too early, way too early, devastatingly too early. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal next will completely change how you think about timing your silver exit. This is information most investors won't discover until it's already too late. Hunt introduces what he calls the law of the parabola, a mathematical reality that most traders completely ignore at their own financial peril. He shows an exponential chart proving that during parabolic moves, the majority of your gains materialize in the final 5 to 10% of the entire move. That final 5%, Hunt clarifies, will deliver half of your total profit. Really let that sink in deeply. Half of all the money you're going to make comes in the last few weeks, possibly the last few days of the move. Too many investors will exit too soon, he warns, and his warning is absolutely on target. Most silver holders will watch prices hit $100, $150, $200, and they'll panic. They'll lock in gains, thinking they've won, only to watch in absolute horror as silver rockets to $500, $800, $1,200 without them. Hunt is trying to prepare investors for what's coming. He's trying to teach them that this price move won't look like anything they've experienced before. At that point, he says quietly, I'm not sure what the dollar even means anymore. I'm not sure what currency will be in use, whether it's still a dollar, a digital dollar, or something completely different. His statement hangs there, heavy with implication. This isn't just about silver prices going up. This is about the breakdown of our entire monetary system. And silver, overlooked, forgotten, suppressed silver is positioned to become the most sought-after asset on the planet. Hunt believes the technical breakdown of the gold-to-silver ratio is just beginning. The contagion phase is when momentum accelerates, when technical indicators align, and when prices start moving far faster than anyone expects. He's seen this pattern before, back in the 1970s and 2011, and now it's happening again. But this time, the move could be bigger than anything we've witnessed in recorded history. The ratio breaking below 65 was the starting gun, and the race has already begun. Most retail investors are still standing at the starting line, wondering if they should jump in, while Hunt and those following his work are already miles ahead, positioning for the move of a lifetime. The question now isn't whether silver will rise. The question is exactly how high will it go before this cycle completes. And Hunt's forecast is both terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. But here's what keeps every silver investor awake at night, tossing and turning, second-guessing every decision. Is it too late to buy? Francis Hunt gets asked this constantly, and his answer might surprise you, might challenge everything you think you know about market timing. He leans forward, looks directly at his audience, and asks a simple question. If something is going to $1,200, does $82 seem like too much to pay? The room goes silent because suddenly the math becomes crystal clear, undeniably obvious. Investors worry about buying silver at $80, $90, even $100. They think they've missed the opportunity. They believe the major gains are behind them. But Hunt sees it completely differently, radically differently. He's not looking at today's price. He's looking at tomorrow's reality. And in that reality, current prices are an absolute gift, a gift most investors will refuse because of fear, uncertainty, because they're waiting for a pullback that may never come. Hunt then addresses another concern, one that keeps traders lying awake, staring at charts at 3 a.m. Where do you enter when the monthly chart shows no clear pullback? This is the entry dilemma. On longer time frames, silver looks like it's already in full rally mode. No obvious support levels, no clear entry points, just a vertical climb that seems impossible to catch. But Hunt has a methodology, a strategy he's refined over decades of trading precious metals, real money, real experience. Using multiple time frames, he explains, is useful because it means you can keep getting entry opportunities on smaller time frames. He's not telling people to buy blindly at any price. He's showing them to zoom into shorter time frames, to find the micro pullbacks that occur within the macro rally. Hunt opens a live trading platform, the exact same one he uses for his own capital, not theoretical examples, not hypothetical scenarios, actual trades with real money on the line. He points to Bitcoin, gold, silver, all moving higher, and everyone kept saying they'd topped out. What did we actually get? Hunt asks. We got an opportunity to re-enter on this daily time frame. He shows 2 entry points, spots where silver temporarily dipped within the overall uptrend. I took 2 entries, he states. I placed stops right here and here on what we call the relative low with stop-loss orders. This is the HVF method, Hunt's personal system for trading macro bull markets on shorter time frames, and it's working exceptionally well. Those stop-loss orders, he continues, are now positioned up here with guaranteed profit locks. We added more positions, and those are now significantly in profit. Approximately 150% gain there, roughly 305% there, and we're still climbing higher. This isn't luck. This is systematic strategy. Hunt is demonstrating in real time with actual capital that even during a powerful bull market, entry opportunities still exist if you know where to look. The key is understanding that volatility creates opportunities, not obstacles. Now stay locked in because what I'm about to show you next reveals a supply crisis so severe, so perfectly hidden, that even most precious metals analysts have completely missed it. This is the real reason Hunt believes we're heading for 4-digit silver prices, and it has nothing to do with speculation. Hunt reveals something that changes the entire game, a supply shortage so serious, so expertly concealed, that even seasoned silver analysts have totally overlooked it. He opens a chart showing the gold-to-silver ratio extending back decades, and what he's about to explain will genuinely shock you to your core. The gold-to-silver ratio, Hunt begins, has remained far too high for far too long. But why exactly? Why has silver stayed so suppressed relative to gold for so many years? Hunt zooms out further, back to 2007, then even further still, all the way to the 1960s, the Vietnam War era, and he sees a pattern, a disturbing pattern that reveals deliberate manipulation. Everything has become more financialized, he states, and silver prices have been forced down relative to gold prices. But it goes deeper, much deeper. Throughout history, the gold-to-silver ratio maintained natural ranges. In ancient Egypt, it was 8-to-1. During various historical periods, it ranged from 10-to-1, 12-to-1, even 15-to-1. But never in human history has it stayed above 100 for as long as it has in recent times. During this era of financialization, Hunt explains, there were moves that hit 30-to-1, and that was still part of the silver price suppression. The suppression happened because there was too much physical inventory above ground. Physical silver stored in vaults could be used to manipulate prices, to keep them artificially depressed, controlled, manageable. But Hunt reveals the critical detail that changes everything. All the evidence suggests that if you don't hold it in a secure location within the borders of your own nation, you don't actually own it. In other words, most of that above-ground inventory doesn't really exist, not in the way people think, not in accessible form. The inventory advantage is disappearing, and when it's completely gone, the real supply shortage will be exposed for everyone to see, undeniable and catastrophic. But here's where things get truly frightening, where the picture becomes genuinely apocalyptic for silver supply. Hunt reveals the production problem nobody's talking about, the elephant in the room that the mainstream financial media refuses to acknowledge. Between 60 and 70% of silver, he states slowly, comes from mining other things. Really let that sink in. Most of the world's silver supply isn't mined by silver companies. It's a byproduct, a secondary output from zinc mines, copper mines, lead mines, gold mines. What that really means, Hunt continues, is you don't have many operations that work specifically to mine silver. Only about 30 to 40% of supply comes from someone whose primary job is to extract silver from the ground. This is absolutely catastrophic for supply response because it means when silver prices rise, supply doesn't respond accordingly, can't respond accordingly. If you're running a copper mine and you're digging for copper, you don't suddenly dig faster just because silver hit $100. You're there for the copper. The silver is just a bonus, an afterthought. They don't focus on it as much, Hunt explains. They're going underground to extract iron or zinc, gold, copper, or some other metal. The silver gets extracted, but it's not why they're digging. This creates an impossible situation, a supply crisis with no solution. Demand for silver is about to explode dramatically, but supply cannot respond no matter how high prices climb. And here's why demand is about to go absolutely parabolic, exponential, unstoppable. Hunt discusses the new world we're being pushed into. Electric vehicles, solar panel installations, smart grid systems, electronic monitoring systems, everything requires silver now that we're transitioning toward what Hunt calls the iPad car, the iPad everything, the complete world of rechargeable battery technology. Everything becomes a rechargeable battery, he says. He's referring to emerging solid-state battery technology, the ones that can power a vehicle for 900 kilometers and recharge to 80% in just 8 minutes. These batteries are a complete game-changer for electric vehicle adoption, mass market transformation. But they have one massive problem, one insurmountable obstacle. They require enormous quantities of silver, unprecedented amounts. Hunt delivers the knockout blow that would require about 20% adoption of those significantly superior batteries, which means requiring 100% of the silver currently being produced. Read that again. 100% of current silver production just for battery manufacturing alone. That means zero silver for consumer electronics, Hunt states. Zero silver for anything else whatsoever. Zero silver for solar panels. The solar industry by itself consumes massive quantities of silver. Every solar panel contains silver paste for electrical conductivity, and the world is deploying solar panels at record pace, exponential growth, government mandates, green energy transitions. Then there's electronics. Smartphones, computers, medical equipment, military hardware, everything needs silver. And don't forget defense applications. These produce significant heat, Hunt notes. They're very effective at creating weapons. Everything requires more silver, especially in an increasingly militarized, technologically advanced world. The supply-demand equation has become completely shattered, irreparably broken. We're moving into a world where silver demand could be 5 times, 10 times, possibly 20 times current production levels, and there's no way to increase supply quickly, no cavalry coming to the rescue. You can't just start a silver mine overnight. It takes years of development, billions in capital investment, and even then, it hasn't been economically viable, Hunt explains, because creating an excavation to extract silver consumes too much energy relative to the price being offered. Silver has been too cheap for too long, and now the market is about to correct that decades-long error all at once, violently and without mercy. Hunt isn't forecasting a normal bull market cycle. He's forecasting a supply shortage of historic magnitude where price becomes the only mechanism to ration demand. Price is the only thing that can fix this, he declares, and fix it the market absolutely will by driving silver to levels that seem impossible today but will seem completely obvious tomorrow, inevitable in hindsight. The hidden supply shortage is hidden no longer, and those who understand it are building positions right now, before the world wakes up to the reality that there simply isn't enough silver to meet the demand that's already here, let alone what's coming in the months and years ahead. But now we face the most difficult question, the question that separates wealthy investors from those who watch wealth slip through their fingers like water. And this is where I need you to pay absolute attention because this decision will determine whether you capture life-changing gains or live with devastating regret. Francis Hunt has shown us the technical breakdown, the entry opportunities, the supply shortage, but now comes the hardest question, the one that separates winners from those who watch winners celebrate. When exactly do you sell? When do you take profits? When do you exit? Hunt tackles this head-on because he knows this is where most investors will make their biggest mistake, their most catastrophic error. When should I sell my silver? He asks, repeating the question everyone wants answered. His response isn't what most people expect, and it might save you from the mistake of a lifetime. The exit for silver, Hunt explains carefully, will depend on the gold-to-silver ratio, not the absolute price. Not round numbers like $100 or $500. Not emotional levels, but the ratio itself. The same ratio that started this entire move will signal when it's time to exit positions, when the party's truly over. Hunt believes the ratio will ultimately collapse into single-digit levels. And when that happens, that's when the final phase begins, the phase where fortunes get made or destroyed depending on who has the discipline to hold and who panics prematurely, who succumbs to fear and sells at exactly the wrong moment. He reminds his audience about the law of the parabola, that exponential curve where half of all profits materialize in the final 5 to 10%. Most of your money gets made in that last stretch, that final explosive push. That final 5% will deliver half of your profit, half of everything you've been waiting for. But here's the psychological trap that catches everyone, the mental torture that breaks even experienced investors. By the time silver reaches $200, $300, $400, every fiber in your body will be screaming at you to sell. The media will call it a bubble, irrational exuberance, a mania. Your friends will say you're being greedy, pushing your luck. Your family will beg you to take profits, to be smart, to be safe. And you'll watch silver pull back 15, 20%, and you'll think this is it, the top is in, I need to sell now before it's too late. But Hunt warns otherwise. Those pullbacks are gifts, not warnings. Opportunities, not exit signals. And we only do a partial close, he states, of about 50% most of the time. This is the professional approach, the disciplined methodology. Take some profits to remove emotional pressure, but let the rest run to capture the full move, the complete transformation. Hunt maintains his target of $330, but he's crystal clear about one thing. That's not going to be the top. That will be a place to pause for some time, a consolidation zone where weak hands sell and strong hands accumulate more before the final surge to 4-digit silver prices, the ultimate destination. We expect to do significantly better than that, Hunt declares, much better indeed. But then he says something that sends genuine chills down your spine, something that reframes this entire discussion. At that point, I'm not sure what the dollar even means anymore. I'm not sure what currency will be in use, whether it's still a dollar, a digital dollar, or something entirely different, something we can't even imagine yet. This isn't just about silver prices going higher. This is about the entire monetary system going through transformation, possibly collapse, possibly complete replacement. In traditional money terms, Hunt continues, it will be in the 4-digit range. 4 digits. $1,500, $2,000, or even higher, levels that seem fantasy today. These aren't wild, speculative predictions pulled from thin air. These are mathematical projections based on supply constraints, demand explosions, and monetary system instability. Hunt has pretty high expectations for that outcome, but he's also realistic about what it means for the world, what it signals about the state of our financial system. When silver reaches 4-digit levels, it won't be because everything is working well. It will be because everything has gone completely wrong with our current system. The financialization that kept silver suppressed will have completely broken down. The inventory above ground will have been totally depleted. The supply from byproduct mining will have proven completely insufficient. And the world will be desperately searching for physical metal at any price, no matter the cost. Hunt shows his final chart, the quarterly structure going back to the 1950s, 75 years of compression building energy like a coiled spring under massive pressure. When these squeezes release, Hunt explains, prices don't just go up. They explode dramatically, violently, reshaping entire markets permanently. And that explosion has already begun. The technical breakout is confirmed. The momentum is accelerating. The contagion phase is here right now, unfolding in real time. Hunt's message to silver holders is both encouraging and cautionary simultaneously. Encouraging because the setup is absolutely perfect, the move has started, and those positioned correctly will witness generational wealth creation, life-changing money. Cautionary because the real gains haven't even begun yet, and selling too early will be the biggest regret of many investors' entire lives, a mistake they'll think about for decades. Silver endings are rarely peaceful, Hunt reminds us. Historical patterns show this phase is characterized by overreaction, not precision. When the end comes, it will come fast. Silver won't politely reach a top and give everyone time to exit gracefully. It will spike violently upward, pull back sharply, spike again, and then when everyone thinks it's going to $3,000, it will reverse fast and hard, catching most investors completely off guard. But that day isn't today, not this month, probably not this year. Hunt thinks we're still in the early stages of a multi-year move that will completely reshape the precious metals markets forever, permanently altering the investment landscape. His final advice is simple but extraordinarily powerful, elegantly profound. The market wants to love you and give you gifts. All you have to do is bend down, open your eyes, and pick them up. Those gifts are the pullbacks, the temporary dips, the moments of uncertainty where you can add to positions or stay strong while others panic around you, where fortitude separates winners from losers. Francis Hunt has laid out the complete picture. The technical setup, the supply shortage, the demand explosion, the entry strategies, and the exit framework. Everything you need is right here, right now. Now the question becomes, will you actually listen? Will you have the courage to buy what seems expensive today but will seem cheap tomorrow? Will you have the discipline to hold through the volatility and capture the full move, the complete transformation? Or will you be like most investors who look back in 2 years and say, I knew silver was going higher, I just didn't have the courage to stay invested, I let fear control my decisions? The choice, as always, is yours to make. But the clock is ticking, and silver doesn't wait for anyone. The train is leaving the station right now. The only question is whether you're on board or watching it from the platform as it accelerates into the distance, carrying generational wealth along with it. Francis Hunt has given you the complete roadmap, the blueprint for potentially life-changing gains. The rest is entirely up to you, your decision, your financial future. End this video right now by leaving a comment below. Tell us what you think about Francis Hunt's silver analysis. Are you buying more? Are you holding strong, diamond hands? Or are you staying on the sidelines, watching and waiting? We genuinely want to hear from you. Your perspective matters to this community. And if this video opened your eyes to what's coming in the silver market, what's approaching on the horizon, smash that like button right now. Don't forget to subscribe to What Happened After and hit that notification bell because the financial storms ahead are only just beginning, and we'll be here to guide you through every single step of the way, every twist and turn. Robert here on What Happened After, reminding you to stay safe, stay informed, and most importantly, stay positioned for what's coming. The silver revolution is here. The question is, will you be part of it? See you in the next one.